So I realized I'll never see myself in the mirror with my eyes closed, and that just makes me sad.
Hey, everybody.
Oh.
It's the return of Dave and Brian Live. I've been having a pretty busy month, or had a pretty busy month last month, it would be July. So I haven't really been able to do a whole lot, including I was in Pennsylvania for what should have been 5 days, but it ended up being 6 days because apparently there's a database with the Homeland Security that everybody who gets on an airplane has to be checked against. Oh, hello. Wow. I guess sorry. I'm using a new computer for the first time, and it's harder to see than I thought it would be.
Oh, Amanda.
So hey, Amanda. So apparently, before you get on a airplane, everybody has to be checked against a database from Homeland Security, and it crashed.
Oh.
Right before I was going to get on the plane. I went through. I got the boarding pass. I went through security. I was standing right there at the gate, and that's at some point their database crashed, and they closed the boarding door, and there went the plane. And I stayed in Pennsylvania for another day, so that wasn't fun. I ended up having to call in to work for the first time ever, and this month is my second year with Universal, and I went almost 2 years without calling in once. So, that's pretty good. But unfortunately, now they did excuse it because it was kind of my fault because I didn't check in early because I never kind of understand the purpose of that. If you go with Southwest, you have to check in like obsessively 24 hours before. Otherwise, you'll get a really crappy seat. For me, I'm thinking, checking in, it sounds to me like you're saying, here I am at the airport. So why you check in at home, I don't know what the point is. But I usually have luggage, so I'm like, well, if I check in here or if I check in at the airport, I still have to go to the kiosk or the desk because I have to check my luggage in. And I'd rather get, even though I like technology, I still like to get a paper boarding pass. It's just easier to handle. Don't have to mess around with my phone. Oh, which app is open? There it is.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. So again, welcome to the show. We have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. Brian, I'm sure, has some things as well. I'm trying out something this time. It's not really a teleprompter, but it's Keynote. So I'm gonna before I used a whiteboard and I would put all my notes and I would look up and kind of like, okay, what did I say? I think I said that, and I kind of killed some time. So first I want to mention really quickly from our friends at LegoLand, Florida. This entire month, if you're going to be in the area, parking is free for everyone. So that's cool. So let's go ahead and go right into Halloween Horror Nights.
Well, I'm looking forward to about everything this year, but the two big announcements that I'm really looking forward to are this right here, Killer Clowns from Outer Space as a scare zone, and the Cult of Chucky as a scare zone.
Which is another shirt he could have worn.
And hi, Duchess.
Oh, hi, Duchess.
Cool. She's going to watch us later.
Okay.
But I just happened to buy this at Florida MegaCon.
If you haven't watched the video, you'll see him buying it. And I think at the time I said, "Hey, do you think there'll ever be a house for Killer Clowns from Outer Space?" And it's not a house, but I was pretty close.
Yeah. There was a little merch area with just a bunch of like Halloween and horror movie-related shirts, and I looked around, and I was like, hey, Killer Clowns! I like that movie, that's a good movie. and so I just bought it.
Oops. That's not what I want to do. Stop. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to the street zone.
Oh my gosh, that's not what.
I kind of wish it was a house. I think it deserves to be a house, but we'll see.
Oh my gosh, why can't I get out of this? Seriously, why can't I get out of this? This is idiotic. There we go.
Hooray!
Wow, this software has some issues. Sorry about that. Jeez. I went to click on something and it brought that up for some reason. Good thing I didn't have my porn on there or something. But all right, so we're gonna get this right one of these days. Please just keep watching and help us.
This is harder than it looks, everybody.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna need a separate monitor for this. There's no. I'm trying to make the screen. I was trying to make the screen larger so we can see it from a distance. Oh hey.
Hi Matt.
So great. Okay, so Carnival Graveyard. That's going to be. It kind of looks like Jack's territory. But,
it does. It really does. Or Chance.
It looks like Halloween Horror Nights 25.
Mm-hmm.
So here is the. If you haven't seen this video, let's see if it works. Oh my gosh! I really hate this program. It decides that when you make any change, it changes the keyframes. All right, so that was what was supposed to play. So that is the video for Carnival Graveyard Rust in Pieces. Now, a little bit of research will show you that what you're seeing is a little bit of what used to be Six Flags in New Orleans.
Oh,
and
okay.
a large portion of it's hard to say because there are a lot of close-up shots. A large portion of that is from, or at least some of it is from a amusement park that was in Russia that was set to open, I think, the day after the Chernobyl incident.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And of course, it's now falling apart because it never got to open because it was very, very close. I believe that's the Ukraine.
Yeah.
It was very, very close to the unfortunate accident, which sadly was during a safety exercise that they were trying to run to prevent what ended up happening. But
I have seen pictures of that amusement park, and it's. I mean, it's abandoned. Nobody's touched it for 20 plus years, 30 years, whatever it's been. So the place looks completely spooktacular. It looks like it was made for like a horror movie or for Halloween or something.
Oh, and also to answer your question, Matthew, it's not raining right now, but it's been raining a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It is nice and warm though.
Mm-hmm. Rained like crazy yesterday.
Yeah, it rains most of the time during the summer here, at least once a day. Usually thunderstorms as well. Apparently, this is the lightning capital of the United States. I believe I'm pretty sure I learned that in the no longer existing queue for Twister Ride It Out. It was one of those monitors.
Yeah.
When we went there, I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." Not of the world though. That would be somewhere in South Africa, I believe. So, again, the Six Flags New Orleans, which went underwater, and I don't mean financially, but they did that too. Unfortunately, there's a video or photo of it right after the hurricane, and there's right across the interstate an area that's not flooded. So I'm sure that they wish they built it there, but of course they probably had a hard time with insurance because there were a lot of claims in the area.
Mm-hmm. But basically, I'm looking forward to Carnival Graveyard. That looks awesome.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's because of this or it ties in, but the Chernobyl, I'm probably saying it wrong.
No, Chernobyl.
Chernobyl accident happened in our lifetime, which is kind of crazy. It happened in 1986, and the theme for this year's Horror Nights in Orlando seems to be the 80s, even though it doesn't seem to be like an official theme.
It's becoming more and more 80s because like almost everything that we've got is based in the 80s at some point. Stranger Things, Killer Clowns, Chucky, Carnival Graveyard. I think that was on purpose because if that happened in 86, Trick or Treat I think takes place in the 90s, but could easily be in the 80s. I mean, especially when Halloween was big in the 80s. So I think it's becoming more and more of an official theme.
I just wish they had something more like Halloween Horror Nights 25 or 26, where they had a strong theme, graphics and everything, and an icon. I don't know why they have been moving away from that often. But you mentioned Killer Clowns.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's going to be in South Street.
Okay.
I don't remember us having a South Street scare zone before.
Where is South Street?
This is the guy who's worked at Universal for 2 years. It's in the lagoon in Universal Studios, right outside of Walgreen.
Oh, okay. Wait, so where Lady Luck was that one year?
No, that's Sting Alley.
Oh.
But I'm hoping this means that they won't have a scare zone in production, which is between Shrek and Despicable Me, because that's a main area where people walk in, and it's kind of disruptive. I think that might be how we got the kind of bland scare zone last year, because they wanted to keep it open.
Yeah.
So I know that there's going to be the same number of scare zones, and it was announced that right from Michael Aleo, he said it was going to be in South Street. So I'm thinking that they're moving it around a little bit, which is just which is a good thing. Also, the parade building is where the forget what house it was. Well, good notes there. But they did mention one of the houses being in the parade building, but we're still not sure if they're using. There's a brand new one as well. Still not sure if they're going to be putting two houses in that building or not. But I wish I could remember what house he was talking about. And also, Vamp 85 New Year's Eve is going to be in New York City, in the New York area.
Yeah.
Because they've already announced the ball drop, which technically could be anywhere, because New York City is the famous ball drop, but they happen in other cities as well.
Yeah.
I think there's like an orange drop or something like that in Miami, even though that seems to make more sense than Orlando, because that's where all the orange groves were. But
I have a theory that the ball is going to drop like every 20 minutes for set change. Because what I think they want to do is every time that a cast is coming out and one is going in, they're going to drop the ball and everything's just going to go crazy.
Could be. So Matthew said that they possibly they shot Jurassic World. Which Jurassic World? At New Orleans Six Flags. There are a few people who have tried to purchase that property, but so far it hasn't happened. Not sure the details, but it's right there along major highway. But obviously it's kind of low land, and it's surprising that several people would want to buy it because I'm sure it's going to be a tear down and start over project, and if in that case, I would think that they would want to build on land that is probably a little less prone to flooding. But then again, it was a massive storm, so maybe that's not, results are not typical. I updated Ecamm Live again today, so hopefully it won't cut out. I still don't know if that was the internet or if it was the software, but that was not good.
Yeah.
Still. So one of the things I've wanted to do for years, and I've been saving some stuff up, but I never have, is I want to try to do some contests. So I have guide maps from Halloween Horror Nights 26, last year's, some stuff from the Celebration of Harry Potter, some stuff from Epcot. We've got this cool thing,
which is a Jack coin. These are from 2000.
So 2010.
Was it?
Oh, 2000.
Yeah. There's, from what I heard, there were thousands of these. And they got strewn around all over the place. And you can find them. I found some of those during Horror Nights 26. Like people, like old fans come in, they still have like many of them, and they'll just like slap it around and let someone else find it and be like, hey, yeah, cool, all right.
This one is actually in pretty good. As I dropped my pen, this is actually in really good condition. I found this very recently, actually at the bus stop back of house. But they do come also sometimes get left in the park.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to come up with some sort of contest for this channel to try to give this away.
Now, I'm guessing these maps won't fetch you much money on eBay, but you know what? These are limited edition maps that are only around like short periods of time. It's a cool little collector's item.
So if the idea is to put together some a prize package, basically.
Yeah, sure.
Like the guide map from that day. This is a 20-year pin for not for working 20 years, but for 20 years of Harry Potter and like a few other things, a bag.
Yeah.
And just put that together and make that a prize. I'm trying to come up with some ideas for the contest. One of them is I was thinking like maybe finding some things in my videos on my other channel, Roddy Paws, and first person who can identify what video this was said or something like that could win. I'd like to make a requirement to win that you have to be subscribed to that channel, but a lot of people have their subscriptions as private, and when they subscribe, I don't get notified, and I don't even see them when I look at my subscriber list. So it's hard to verify if someone actually is a subscriber to the channel.
Yeah.
But
so basically, if you guys have some ideas on how to refine that a little bit,
or what you'd be think is a good contest because it's going to be for you guys.
Yeah. Now, if you were so inclined, you could. Like find old maps online or through eBay or something, but you might, who knows how much it would be, like $2 or $3, I don't know, but would you like some old maps that are limited time?
I've been like I said, I've been thinking about this for years. So every time Halloween Horror Nights happens, I grab a bunch, and I just never actually did move. I went through with it. So, so also going back to Halloween Hornets a little bit. If you're not familiar with my Roddy Paws channel, there's a link in the description for that channel. Please subscribe. I've been trying to get to 1,000 subscribers again because they took away my monetization this year after having it since 2011. So I think that would be enough to tell YouTube that I'm not going to put up something stupid, but those are the rules.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of Halloween Horror Nights videos from going back to 2010 from us on that channel if you want to check that out. We're still going to be doing our reviews of Halloween Horror Nights on that channel as well. But in-park stuff will be on here. As you saw, the updates on things I can show you in park. We can walk around and see some of the progress on some of the houses, but we can't show you that. So, also, I've been thinking about changing the Dave and Brian Live to that channel because this is kind of more of what I do on that channel. This is more in-park stuff, not so much at home. So just wanted to see what you think about that. So leave a comment in the chat or the comment section below if you think this would be better at home on a different channel and kind of leave this for theme park updates and stuff that happens outside, things that we go to. We just went to Mango's Tropical Cafe. I'm just waiting to hear back from somebody who is supposed to be giving me like stats and interesting things. The video is ready to go. I just am waiting for her. Also, it was supposed to happen today, but they changed it. There's a podcast called A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. If you're familiar at all with A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan, it's of course the same people. It is on the radio locally, and it's also on iTunes as a podcast. In 4 days, unless it gets rescheduled, 4 days, I'm actually going to be a guest on their show talking about my channel. So that would be cool.
Yeah.
Definitely want to post a link to it, but I guess go ahead and subscribe if you listen to podcasts. Subscribe to their podcast. It's pretty interesting. They upload I think every day. I'm not sure if I forget if it's weekends or weekdays or 7 days a week, but it's probably 5 days a week.
But that's really cool. Like I think you might see a boost in subscribers from that.
I hope so, but what I went to is a new place. It's a little bit like Dave & Buster's. It's called Game Time. That just opened not too far from here. It says Orlando, but it's actually another city. And I went to go shoot it. I actually did shoot video of it and went bowling and everything. And right before I was finished, the general manager came over and told me that, I can't shoot in here. I need to talk to corporate. And that was a few months ago. I went back several times to talk to him. He gave me some people to email. I emailed them. One person replied saying that they're forwarding it to corporate. I called corporate. And I'm getting pretty close to just posting the video because I keep reaching out to them and they keep not coming back to me. So, but one of the night I went to record it, there was a security from Game Time and also a police officer from whatever city that is. I forget how it's pronounced, but he was talking to me about, he saw me shooting video in there, and he's the one who said, asked me if I heard of Tom and Dan, and I said, that sounds familiar, but there are a lot of people on the radio, two guys, so I might be thinking of someone else. And he said that I should contact them, and that they might find what I do very interesting. I'm like, sure, okay, whatever. So I emailed them, and they got back to me like right away, and they said they wanted to have me on the show. At what time? When do I want to go? Be on the show? And I said, well, July is probably not going to work out very well. So it was supposed to be August 2nd, and it's going to be August 6th. So
Cool.
look for that. Also, it's amazing. It feels like I was just standing on the parking garage of Sapphire Falls like last week, looking down at a hole in the ground. But on August 16th, Aventura, hopefully it will be finished. But I don't know if it'll be finished, but it's going to be opening.
Yeah.
Here we go again. And we're, as I mentioned before, we're going to have we have reserved a room, and I'm going to be shooting video of that and the whole the restaurant and everything. And the very next day, we're going to try to do a 2.0 version of what we did a couple of years ago when we moved here, which is called
The Waterlog.
Waterlog. Yes, that is. This time we can't. When we did it before, we went to Wet and Wild, and then all the hotel pools. This year we can't go to the water park because we're blocked out. But we're going to stick to just the pool. So we're going to go to every single pool and all 6 hotels in one day, and hope that the thunderstorms aren't around too long, because when the thunderstorms are around, you don't go to the pool. But I'm going to bring my new iMac, and we're going to try to live stream from the hotel room that night. But there's a lot to shoot. It takes a long time. It takes a long time to set up for the live stream, and I don't know how good the internet is, so it might be kind of slow, especially because it's probably going to be a full hotel, and a lot of other people are going to be streaming or uploading and stuff, but we're going to try. Mm-hmm. And could you not lick your foot for a second? So I just want to remind everybody that I do have an official OrlanDave Gift Shop. It's not just the thing I say at the end of the video. The link for that is also in the description. Unfortunately, so far I've only sold one shirt. I don't know if it's like the designs aren't that great, or if it's too expensive.
Well, how much are you charging?
It's not really me.
Oh.
I guess you don't know how that works. The company that makes the shirts charges a price, and then I add a small amount on top of that. But the majority of the money goes to the company that makes the shirts. Now what are you licking? Now you're licking the other foot.
Merle, calm down. Shh.
So please check that out. I want to add more designs. I have more ideas, but of course it costs money. And also, we've mentioned that on my birthday we're going to be going to LegoLand, Florida, staying at their beach retreat resort. I think it's the little cottages that they just opened not that long ago. And when we're already out there, we're going to be going to a place called the Buck. I think I only saw it on the screen. It's a BOK. It was a guy's last name. I guess we'll find out when we go. The Bach Tower Gardens and the Pinewood Estate. So we're going to be going there and shooting a whole bunch of stuff as well. So a few exciting things in August. Funny thing is, we're going to be staying in 2 different hotels almost a week apart, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Especially the one, because in Aventura is right down is very close, but LegoLand is about an hour away, so makes a little more sense.
And Alan McGuire says, "What's going on, my brothers? What are your thoughts on the upcoming Halloween movie?" Well, I think I'll see it. I've always liked the Halloween series, especially the first few movies. I did like the Rob Zombie Halloween movies, even though a lot of people are like, the Rob Zombie movies. I liked them. I thought they were great.
I would think Rob Zombie would do a good job with it. What was it that people didn't like?
I don't know. I know they had problems with the lighting in the first movie, and they didn't like the story in the second movie, and I don't know. It just I liked them.
So who's doing the newest one?
I know it's Blumhouse. I don't know who the director is.
Oh. Well, I don't know if we'll see another Halloween house based on that. We've had a lot of Halloween in Orlando, but we sure had some Blumhouse as well.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it.
So, another thing I just wanted to mention is you saw in the beginning of the video. I do have a Patreon account. If you're not aware, that helps me do things like next year I'm going to be going to VidCon, and we've talked about wanting to go to Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
But it costs a lot of money to fly out there and stay in a hotel, and things like Patreon helps. And I'm always buying new equipment, and I could use some more lighting and things like that. So all of the money goes to my YouTube channel. So please take a look at that. I need to update the structure to add some more levels, but basically the $1 a month gets your name in the description of every video. $2 gets your name at the end of the video for 20 seconds, and $3 gets you your name in the beginning of the video for 20 seconds. And when I'm live streaming, it's up until I go, oh yeah, it's time to take it off. Whoops. So even longer than that. What I do want to add is another tier that is for all three channels, which is the Roddy Paws, OrlanDave, and Board Games Live. And then maybe $3 can be for OrlanDave or Roddy Paws or Board Games Live. Probably would make Board Games Live like $1 right now because there's so few people subscribe to it, but something I need to work on, but please go and look at that as well. So that is my notes for this week.
Well, I think I've pretty much said everything I want to talk about. I'm looking forward to September, and I'm hoping to see all you guys who can make it down. Yeah. Duchess might make it, and I know one of your subscribers said that they're coming for the first 2 weeks.
Should be cool.
Yeah. I'm looking more forward to Horror Nights this year than I was last year. Last year was fine. Just there's so much stuff for me to look forward to this year. Chucky, Killer Clowns, Trick or Treat. I'm interested in Dead Exposure. That's going to be interesting because it's
Patient Zero.
Yeah, it's been 10 years since the last Dead Exposure house, so that's cool.
I was talking to somebody, one of the team members, who kept insisting that Bill and Ted will come back. It's just a matter of time. I wish I could share their optimism. I don't think it's going to happen.
But we'll see. I mean, they're not completely wrong. There's a lot of people who already miss Bill and Ted, so...
Yeah. Well, that's the missing Bill and Ted is one thing, because even the creative directors... even the creative directors were really sad to see it, and when we all went, oh... they said, yeah, we feel the same way.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, we're going to bring it back because we didn't know it was popular. Mm-hmm. Except the sad thing is the crowds were kind of getting smaller and smaller, but that's not why. I know the official reason is that they couldn't, or I think one of the official reasons is they couldn't afford the licensing because of Bill and Ted 3. And all this time I was thinking, oh man, I hope they make a third Bill and Ted because that would be a big boost to Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure. And it turns out, apparently, not so great.
Yeah. So Alan asked, looking at the future of Halloween Horror Nights, what would you like to see happen?
Well, besides Bill and Ted coming back, maybe they've hit the perfect number of nights, but I kind of wanted to see it expand. I'm not sure what the significance is of the Rock the Universe dates. It could be because they just can't have it any earlier because it's a schedule conflict or something. Rock the Universe is all about Christians, and like, what does that have to do with September? It's a Christian music fest. So why couldn't that be 1 week earlier and expand Halloween Horror Nights a little bit earlier in September? I know they really can't make it later because, especially last year, they expanded Christmas a ridiculous amount, and it bumps right up against the end of Horror Nights. Mm-hmm. So they kind of they ran out of space for Horror Nights to go any later in November, but I would like to see it expand a little bit earlier into September. There are days that we have Horror Nights later in the run. Like Wednesdays are usually not in the first few weeks. It's possible that they could do Wednesdays all the way through. I'm sure that they have someone locked in a closet doing numbers that would say, "Yeah, it wouldn't work."
Now,
but it is a possibility without expanding the time frame.
Now, if the creative directors came to you and said, "Dave, you've been here a long time, and you like your Halloween Horror Nights, so you get to pick one house out of everything," what would you pick?
One house, like
they said to you, you pick any house for Halloween Horror Nights.
One house for that they've done?
No, a house that they've done or that they haven't done, and you just say, "I want this to happen." They'll say, "Okay, we'll make it happen." What would you like to see?
I don't know. I didn't see Tusk, but I thought that would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, that would be a neat house.
It's a movie that it probably should have done better than it did, but one of the problems, I think there was really no marketing. It was all Kevin Smith talking about it. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's some that I can't think of right now that would be cool. But
now, it's interesting you say that because it's kind of like The Shining. It's a slow burn horror movie. It's not. It doesn't like just start off right away with all these jump scares and everything. But if they made The Shining successful, and really, I know I'm a little biased because I was in The Shining, but speaking as a fan of Horror Nights, I thought they nailed it on The Shining.
And I know that people really didn't like it, but it would be interesting to at least explore, and maybe it's because I haven't watched it, but to explore the miniseries or to do The Shining closer to the, maybe not the way the miniseries did it, but closer to the book. Apparently, Stephen King doesn't want to be involved with the adaptations of his work for some reason.
He was heavily involved in the miniseries, which is very, very close to the book.
But I'd like to see them do The Shining again, but work directly with Stephen King on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be cool. It's just the Kubrick movie is just so iconic.
But I don't know, that would be something I'd like to see, and that's not to say that they haven't tried. We don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows, of all the houses that we've seen, how many ideas have started and just kind of faded out.
Mm-hmm. Alan says he'd like to see a house based on John Carpenter's The Thing.
What house wasn't that John Carpenter's?
That was the prequel in 2011.
Oh, I thought that was the original.
It was based on the upcoming movie.
Oh.
It basically was kind of the same movie, pretty much. I think the problem is with the 2011 movie was everyone thought it was a straight up remake, and it really is a prequel. Because I went to go see it, and it's if you watch 2011's The Thing, and then John Carpenter's The Thing from the 80s, you will see one continuous story. Yeah, that would also be it'd be pretty much the house we had in 2011, except a little bit different. That would be a really cool house.
Now, of course, the obvious answer is for scare zones is I wish Fox would let them do Treehouse of Horror. That's something they should have done as soon as they put Springfield in. They should have had Treehouse of Horror because it's theming. Now, I don't know. Maybe Horror Nights fans would be like, "It's not bloody and gory and guts everywhere. It's not scary." But it would be perfect.
Yeah,
a horror zone based on. That's something they tried to do in Islands of Adventure, but it didn't work with that IP. Like Seuss Landings doesn't work for Horror Nights. Jurassic Park kind of does, but this is before Wizarding World of Harry Potter was there that they did this. That you can't even shine a light into there. That has Halloween, but there's still that possibility of hopefully a Halloween-themed nighttime projection show during Horror Nights on Hogwarts Castle. I don't have any information about it. I just wish they would do that, especially because the magic of Christmas at Hogwarts Castle started out very Halloween.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be that hard. I mean, they already have witches.
And they've got
it's
ghosts.
It's already dark.
They've got ghosts. That's what started... The first projection show started with the Hogwarts ghost singing "Ring the Hogwarts Bell," which is something that happens in the movies, but it's kind of Halloweenish. I mean,
ghosts going, "Whoa,
ring the Hogwarts Bell." Yeah.
It's like old timey Halloween, but still, it's Halloween.
Yeah.
It's pretty much Halloween, even though it's for Christmas.
Now, there's plenty of classic horror IPs that they could do, but something new school that's been happening lately. I'd like to see a house based on Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they haven't done that. Although I was watching the two of the creative people from Hollywood and Mike from here in Orlando. They got together on stage and they were talking about how just because they haven't done it doesn't mean they haven't been trying every single year.
That's true.
And they just can't make it happen because apparently I think it was going to, the rumor is true, it was going to be a house and then it wasn't. And we know that I think it was Scream that was just about to happen here in Orlando and it was changed at the last minute to The Purge.
Yes.
So Five Nights at Freddy's, especially based on how many times you see merchandise everywhere, it seems like it's plenty successful. And I'm thinking, what do you think it would work better, as a house or a scare zone? Because both of those would work.
I think a house. You could do the scare zone with just the characters running around and screaming at you. I think it would work better as a house, seeing the security office, seeing Foxy's Cove, Foxy's Pirate Cove, seeing the stage with the animatronics, and then going in a different room, seeing the stage empty, and then you just go, and then they're popping all out at you, and I think it would work really well as a house, but yeah, it could work as a scare zone.
They could do what they did in the house you were in last year, which, was it last year? I think, in The Shining where you're in a room and the lights go out and then the characters move and then the lights come back on. And let me tell you, because I was in that house a lot, especially when I was leaving the house, every single time those lights went out, the whole room screamed. I mean, that was a very effective room. And then, the bartender only had to, just look kind of scary and, do the, good evening, Mr. Tarts. What'll it be? Hair the dog that bit me, Lloyd. Excellent choice, sir. And then the lights go out,
the ghosts start running around and popping out at you. The room went crazy every single time, and the lights went out like every 30 seconds, and every 30 seconds I'd hear screaming, like a whole room screaming. It was pretty intense.
They did bring up in that it was called A Midsummer's Night Scream,
Mm-hmm.
I believe, over in California, and they did bring up the House of a Thousand Corpses. I think Michael mentioned that as one of the houses he liked.
Yeah,
because they asked, what houses did you like from the other side, and one of the houses, I think the only house of all the years that they've been there, one or two of the houses they brought up was Ghost Town.
Oh wow, cool.
Because the set was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, House of the Thousand Corpses would be kind of cool to see in Orlando. It's been a little while, but there's a few houses that we missed that we wish that we hadn't. The Alice Cooper's
Welcome to My Nightmare.
Yeah.
And Penn and Teller Nuked Vegas,
yeah.
and Silent Hill.
Some of those were during a couple of those were during 2012
Mm-hmm.
when we didn't have the resources to come up here.
Yeah.
Now we can walk out the door and trip and fall into Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah. We both heard that 2012 wasn't that great of a year,
Yeah.
so we weren't missing it much. But like those three houses at least seemed interesting. I saw a walkthrough of Silent Hill, and that looked pretty boss.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I believe that's a video game.
Yes, yeah, several video games.
Yeah, we never played any of them, but the Bill and Ted that year it was kind of weak. I always think that like when there's a presidential election that year, for some reason Bill and Ted has been kind of not that great, but now it doesn't matter because there isn't Bill and Ted anymore.
Yeah. We both went in 2010. Yeah, that I have to say that was a really, really good year.
Yeah, it's hard to say because it was my second time going, but it was our first time, so of course we're going to be kind of biased about it. I wish we had been going for years before then to see everything up to that, to appreciate it more. But going on every year is an anniversary because it's every year.
Mm-hmm.
So anniversary means, but a special anniversary year, you kind of get to see stuff that happened before. So I would recommend going to Horror Nights any year, but if you can make it to the 2020, that's going to be a big year in review.
That's going to be 30 years.
Yeah, and actually next year is going to be the 20th anniversary of Portofino Bay Hotel, their first on-site hotel, 20 years of City Walk, and 20 years for Islands of Adventure, and that's pretty big.
Yeah.
But the following year, 2020, is going to be huge at
Yeah.
Universal because it's Universal Orlando's 30th.
Mm-hmm.
It is Universal Studios' 30th. It is also Halloween Horror Nights' 30th.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be 10 years of Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Wizarding World of Harry Potter, which is kind of funny because we remember when it happened, but it feels like it's been there for a lot longer than that, but it hasn't been 10 years yet.
Yeah.
And there still are those rumors that Fear Factor is going to be torn down and it's going to be an expansion of Harry Potter. So, but all of that could fit in what is the apartment complex now that apparently they had to sell the land to build Wizarding World of Harry Potter, which is unfortunate that they couldn't or didn't try to get a loan because that got paid off very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I will say, 20 Years of Fear, just that was a really good year for going into Horror Nights for the first time, and we went to the retrospective house called Hallowed Past 20 Years of Fear.
which I've always said I wish it was a scare zone because I really wish I could have spent a lot more time working. We both have worked as intendant in houses. I did for 2 years. You did for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And even as a scare actor, you got to do this. But we got to spend a lot of time in the houses. of all the houses I've seen, I think that's still the number one house I wish I worked in, because I would have loved to have spent a lot more time walking around in there. And
They did have a retrospective zone, but it was mainly like a lot of items from over the years that just placed. But I have to say, walking into Hallowed Past and seeing Horror Nights 1, 2, 3, it was banners hanging from the
wasn't
ceiling.
even Horror Nights 1, it was...
Friday Night. But there are these banners hanging from the ceiling, kind of like when you go to like the sports arena and they've got the basketball banners, you know, like what yours, stretching from all the way to 20, like all the way back on this long path, and there's just Horror Nights memorabilia all around you. Like, that was a very impressive sight.
And they do actually store all that in a warehouse, so that was the theme of the house, is it looked like you were walking through that warehouse, which, you know, if you're a big Horror Nights fan, you wish you can get a tour of that warehouse.
Yeah.
Although it would just be, oh, here's a bunch of crates and there's cool stuff in it.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't really be that way, but still, to see all that stuff would be awesome. I wish that I don't think they had back then the New York Scare Zone the size of, I think The Purge was the first time they had it that big.
Yeah.
For 30, Michael, you watching? No? For 30, I would love to see a retrospective Scare Zone that is the New York Scare Zone that takes up that much space. Probably they don't want to do that. I never thought about it just now. They probably don't want to do that because they'd have to put all that stuff outside in the elements.
Yeah. And so a lot of that is very old now.
Yeah.
Like, for even 25, you know, some of that stuff dated back to 2001, so that's already like 14 years old now.
Yeah. But, I don't know, maybe they can put it on display behind glass, something like that. I just wish we did, because you have to be rushed through a house, and you don't get to appreciate it as much.
What they kind of do is, for 25, that when they open that tribute store, before the tribute store, Twister had closed. Twister Ride It Out closed, so the gift shop for Twister became a kind of Horror Nights museum.
But it was called the tribute store.
Yeah. Something like, they could even dedicate like a soundstage where it's kind of like going into the Harry Potter Warner Brothers exhibit, where it's, you don't walk through a house, it's you just go around and look at, you know, old memorabilia stuff.
I wish they did something during the day. It wouldn't be gory and stuff like that, but something. I wish they would go back to because there used to be a parade during Horror Nights, and they don't do that anymore because there's too many people.
Yeah.
But I wish they would do that during the day. But they have to do their superstar parade. But I kind of like Death Drums as well. That was pretty cool. Something they haven't done since then. So,
and do you know what I found out?
Today you found out?
Today I found out. Well, it wasn't today. So if you are any into Horror Nights history and you've seen the Rat Lady, and if you don't know what that is, it is a live person, a woman, laying in kind of like a hearse, but it's all glass so you can see in, and there's just hundreds of rats just crawling all over her. And she's the Rat Lady. I found out she is actually a professional. She wasn't a scare actor hired, she was hired by Universal, but it wasn't like she auditioned and they said, okay, well, we're going to put you in this glass thing with a bunch of rats. Are you ready for that? No, she actually, those are all her pets. She breeds a lot of rats, and she just lays down, and, you know, they know who she is, she knows who they are, so they're cool with her, and they won't bite her, and she lays around, and she was a big hit with the fans. I remember she was out in 20 Years of Fear. Apparently, she was out like briefly for 25.
Yeah, we've heard about it, but we couldn't find it.
Yeah, but she is a professional, and she breeds rats, you know, as a profession, and so if you know your history, that's something cool I found out.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned it before, but Fear Factory Live will be closing temporarily on the 12th of this month. And at this point, unless something just hasn't been announced yet, it's going to be Academy of Villains because they've only announced one show. Fear Factor is closing for Horror Nights. That's the only conclusion.
And 10 houses, so I think that's the instead of a second show this year, they've just added another house, and so that'll help alleviate crowds.
A little bit. I still think a second show would be much more effective. But we'll see.
Yeah.
So that's what we have for now. We're going to try to get back to the board games again pretty soon, and see if I can not have that go all wrong. But I don't know what happened last time we tried to do the board games live. If you're not familiar, if you haven't watched it and you're wondering what I was talking about with the Ecamm Live, for some reason we lost the stream multiple times during that, and it wasn't a Wi-Fi issue because I run Ethernet straight from the router to the computer. I trust that a lot more than Wi-Fi, even though Wi-Fi is pretty solid. It's a desktop. It's already plugged into a whole bunch of wires. What's one more wire?
Yeah.
So I don't know what was going on with that. That's why I mentioned the update, because I updated it that day and it crashed. I guess it didn't crash, but it had problems with the stream. So thankfully, when I updated it today, it hadn't caused a problem. So again, please check out my Roddypods channel. Please check out my Board Games Live channel in the description. Please take a look at the gift shop, and if you have any suggestions for things, different variety of shirts. I used to be for a long time, I was with Cafe Press, but I had about $14 in what they called Cafe Cash, which is an accumulation of the money you earn commission from selling things, and I was waiting just a little bit longer because I was like, okay, well, I'll get one of my shirts so I can wear it on the show, but if I wait for one more order, maybe I'll not have to pay shipping. And I guess a year elapsed since somebody purchased something from that store, from my account, and they wiped out my Cafe Cash. It was all gone.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, wait, what? No. And so they took the profit that was part of the profit that was supposed to go to me, and they kept it for themselves. And I tried to contact support, and like, well, it's in our agreement. You should know about that. And it's like, that's a terrible attitude. And I was with them for years and years, never heard of that part of their policy. And I mean, how hard would it be to set up an automated email or message or something that would say, hey, you're going to lose your Cafe Cash if you don't spend it, and then I would, okay, I'll just pay shipping.
Yeah.
But it seems kind of stupid to me to penalize me because other people hadn't been buying something from my store. Like somehow I was purposely not allowing people to buy things. Obviously, I wanted people to buy stuff.
Yeah.
They just weren't. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
So I was very upset and I closed my account. So right now I only have an account with Spreadshirt, and they don't have as many items, but there's a few things I've gotten from Cafe Press that could have been better quality. Like they have glasses such as this, but they don't. But when whatever image is printed on it, it's extremely hard to see, unless you have I guess you're drinking milk or something that's white, or a color that would work because it was just kind of see-through. So that's the gift shop, and that's the broadcast, and thanks for watching.